class 10 students of St. Michael's Academy, welcome to online physical science class. Today I am continuing with metallurgy. Electronic theory of redox reaction. According to electronic concept, oxidation is loss of electrons and reduction is gain of electrons. That is, if an element loses electron, it is oxidized, and if it gains electron, it is reduced. In a redox reaction, species getting oxidized or reduced is checked by this method. So now see the diagram. One example I have given: when zinc is reacting with copper, oxidation happens and reduction also happens. By arrow I have discussed everything. And in another diagram, diagrammatic structure I have given, where loss of electron and gain of electron means reduction and loss of electron means oxidation, that has been shown. Now, extraction of metals by reduction. There are three main methods of extracting metals from their ore. They are reduction of the ore with carbon, reduction of the molten ore by electrolysis, and reduction of the ore with a more reactive metal. See, I have given one chart there. I have cleared that potassium, sodium and aluminium extracted from their ores by electrolysis, that means using electricity. Zinc, iron and copper extracted from their ores by reduction by carbon. And silver and gold, no extraction necessary, found pure in the ground. Okay, so let's start extraction of metals by reduction. Now, what is reduction? Metals are often found combined with oxygen as oxides. To obtain the metal, the oxygen must be removed. The removal of oxygen from a substance is called reduction. Metal oxide in ore, after reduction, it will form metal. Now, in your book, it has been written that extraction of metals from its purified oxide ore can be done by electrolytic reduction or by chemical reducing agents. First one, in case of electrolytic reduction, in molten state, the metal oxide electrolyte is dissociated into cation and anion. That means MO, M for metal, O for oxygen. That means any metal oxide, when dissolves in water, it will form metal as cation and oxygen as anion. Why they have written M2 plus? Because maximum metal valency obviously 2, because oxygen valency 2. But you can say that sodium valency is 1. But when sodium oxide is forming, formula is coming Na2O. That means 2 sodium atoms are there. So that's why they have written M2 plus plus O2 minus. Now cathode reaction. M2 plus, that means 2 electrons is less. So it is acquiring this 2 electron plus 2E to form metal, neutral metal. That is reduction. Always reduction happens in cathode. Now anode reaction, oxygen 2 minus, that means excess 2 electron. So minus 2E, it is forming oxygen. That means it is forming nascent oxygen. 2 atoms of nascent oxygen to form, accumulate to form one molecule of oxygen, that is O2. So that only I have said in this diagram also. Now carbon can be used to extract metals by reduction. Another process also I have told. Suppose lead oxide is reacting with carbon to form Pb, that means lead plus carbon monoxide. In this reaction, the carbon removes oxygen from lead oxide. This occurs because carbon is more reactive than lead. The addition of oxygen to a substance is called oxidation. What series has been given? Please remember the series properly. Where chemical reactivity increases, tendency to lose electron decreases, everything they have given. Now, according to this lead oxide plus carbon, I am discussing it from your book. The metals mostly remains as compound. Its oxidation state is more than 0. In electrolytic reduction at cathode, the metal cation accepts requisite number of electrons to reduce to metal. For example, Mn plus, N means variable, that means any number of electron, plus Ne. See the cathode reaction, you can correlate. It will form neutral metal. Now, second one that I am discussing by carbon. By heating the oxide ore with reducing agent like carbon, carbon monoxide, etc. So, suppose zinc oxide when react with carbon to form zinc plus carbon monoxide. So, like this, when zinc oxide reacts with carbon monoxide to form zinc plus carbon dioxide, like this. So, hope so you have understood. One thing repeatedly I am saying, if you are not understanding anything, please email me at the following email ID. Otherwise, I am thinking that you have understood, all of you have understood all things. That is good for you, that is good for me also. But after that, I will start giving worksheet. That time, maybe you will face problem. That's why I am telling, if you are not understanding a separate topic, that also where you are not understanding, please email me so that I can make you understand. Now, thermite process. A thermite reaction, a type of aluminothermic reaction, is one in which aluminium metal is oxidized by an oxide of another metal, most commonly iron oxide. Although the reactants are stable at room temperature when they are exposed to sufficient heat to ignite, they burn with an extremely intense exothermic reaction. See the diagram. Now I am reading this from your book. You will understand. In a fire clay crucible, a mixture of aluminium powder and ferric oxide is taken in the ratio of 1:3 by weight. This mixture is called thermite mixture. See the diagram. Aluminium plus Fe2O3. To this mixture in the crucible, some amount potassium chlorate, barium peroxide and magnesium powder are taken. A magnesium ribbon is introduced into the mixture. That's forming KMnO4. When the magnesium ribbon is fired, high heat is produced in the crucible. At this high temperature, ferric oxide is reduced to molten iron. With this molten iron, broken rail or broken parts of instruments can be repaired. Now, reactions of this thermite process, that is thermite reactions. This reaction based on the principle that elements having more reducing power can reduce the metal oxide to metal having the lower reducing power. For example, in the activity series of metals, aluminium is above iron. That is, the reducing power, that is tendency to donate electron, is greater than that of iron. Now see the reaction. When Fe2O3 reacts with aluminium, it will form aluminium oxide, that is Al2O3 plus Fe. Aluminium loses 6 electrons, that is minus 6E to form aluminium as cation, and iron is gaining 6 electrons to form iron. One is cathode reaction, another one is anode reaction. Now rusty. Rust is an iron oxide, a usually reddish brown oxide formed by the reaction of iron and oxygen in the presence of water or air moisture. Several forms of rust are distinguishable both visually and by spectroscopy and form under different circumstances. Rusting occurs when iron is exposed to oxygen in air and water or water vapor. In areas that have higher humidity, the rusting process takes place faster as the content of moisture in the air is higher. This process of rust formation in presence of oxygen and water or water vapor is called rusting. See the diagram. So we can see the rust thing. Mechanism of rust. First, why rusting occurs? See the diagram. First diagram. When iron reacts with oxygen to form rust, that is iron oxide. You know that. Now the second diagram. The results of a corrosion experiment after a few days. Iron nails in water, slightly rusty. Silver strip with wire connected with iron nails, very rusty. Zinc strip connected with these iron nails, not rusty. Copper strip connected with iron nails, very rusty. So now mechanism or reactions of rusting. Rust, that is Fe2O3 dot XH2O, that is actually 3H2O, is formed by the subsequent oxidation of Fe2 plus by atmospheric oxygen. In the corrosion process, iron metal acts as the anode in a galvanic cell and is oxidized to iron 2 plus cation. Oxygen is reduced to water at the cathode. So reaction at the anode. 2 iron solid forms 2 iron as cation aqueous plus 4 electron. At the cathode, oxygen gas plus 2H2O as liquid plus 4 electron and this 4 electron will be reduced each other to form ultimately at cathode 4 hydroxyl ion in aqueous solution. So overall equation 2Fe plus O2 plus 2H2O forming 2FeOH whole 2. That means ferrous hydroxide. Obviously, when you will write, you can add the reactions from your book also. Rusting mechanism, reactions are very, very important. At anode and at cathode reaction given in your book. Read this from your book. If you are not understanding or if you will not understand this mechanism of rusting from your book, then please email me, say your doubt so that I can send you another one slide or video to make you understand. Prevention of rust. Tips for preventing rust. Keep it, that means that particular iron substance, clean and dry. Water is enemy number 1 when it comes to rust because it's the oxygen in water molecules that combines with iron to form iron oxide. So rust will form. Prevent scratches. Apply a protective coating. Use stainless steel. Use galvanized metal. Regular maintenance. These are necessary for prevention of rusting. See the diagram. Here it has been shown the way of prevention of rusting. Now corrosion. Corrosion is a galvanic process that can be prevented using cathodic protection. The deterioration of metals through oxidation is a galvanic process called corrosion. Alternatively, a more easily oxidized metal can be applied to a metal surface, thus providing cathodic protection of the surface. Corrosion can be prevented by removing one of these conditions. Coating a metal surface with paint or enamel provides a barrier between the metal and the moisture in the environment. The process of coating a metal surface with another metal that is more likely to be oxidized is referred to as sacrificial coating. See the diagram, and now I am telling something from the book. In your book, there is a subheading corrosion of other metals and its health implications. In moist air, aluminium reacts with aerial oxygen to form a very thin, insoluble and rigid layer of aluminium oxide. That is, aluminium reacts with oxygen to form Al2O3 on the surface of aluminium. For this reason, aluminium cannot come in contact with air and water to be corroded. This protective film of aluminium oxide on aluminium protects it. Now second one, copper and most of its alloys like brass, bronze, bell metal remain unaffected in dry air. But in moist air, a thin layer of oxides and sulfide are formed and its brightness destroys. If copper is exposed in moist air for a long time, a green layer of basic copper sulfate, that is CuSO4, 3CuOH whole twice, is formed. That is basic CuOH whole twice means copper hydroxide, that means basic, and copper sulfate is formed. The next one, precaution should be taken to store cook acidic foods of fruits in zinc, aluminium and copper utensils. So acidic organic substances like fruits, food materials should not store in galvanized utensils because zinc may get dissolved in the food material and cause metal poisoning. During cooking, acidic foods in aluminium utensils, dissolved aluminium compounds are harmful for health. Acidic foods and chocolates packed in aluminium foil may cause poisoning. In presence of air and acid, copper is oxidized to its soluble compounds and copper poisoning may take place. For this reason, acidic foods should not cook or store in zinc, aluminium and copper utensils. So corroded, tarnished metal utensils should clean properly before use. Thank you students. For any doubts or queries, please email me at shudeshna1.sma@outlook.com.